Alright, so this video is going to be a bit different. I did add some books, but I'm just going to show them all off. I was going to do like I was going to show them all off anyways, but I can't remember which ones I did and didn't show off. Some are obvious, like the ones I got today and Wednesday. I was thinking to myself, wait, no, that one did, I'll wait with this one. And I was kind of like, you know what, if I'm gonna be showing them all off anyways, I might as well do the same thing for each and every one. And by that, I mean I'm going to talk about them as if I haven't shown them off before. When I do my little explanation for why I got each book and whatever else I kind of mention. This first one, I am going to speed run it though. Some of them I will try and speed run. Okay, so first one up is the end. Oh, and also, side note, this isn't a all the image authors pile or all the miscellaneous books pile, because the OGNs, some of those are the miscellaneous pile. Left over from that pile. So I know those ones I did show. But the end of the fucking world, again, uncensored on the spine, and the checkout and receipt, the receipts I get from the library, the emails I get from the library says this book's in and then checked out. And also on the catalog that this book comes from. So, I found that kind of funny, it's only uncensored on the cover. And it makes me think, like, well, if you have it in a bookstore, and the bookstores usually have it on shelves like this, not like this, but some do display it like this, so I'm wondering if they had to do it like that. And also, those of you who may be getting a whole big ass sense of deja vu, it's because it is the Netflix show. It's a Netflix show that was adapted from this graphic novel. Again, still not read this yet. I need to this weekend, though. Either this weekend or next weekend. It's doing the 29th, which isn't that long, but it's like I can't even renew it. So this has become top priority more than other books do. Still have The Hazards of Love. I don't think there was a whole lot to mention about this book. Stan Stanley was the author. I found that kind of funny. No, one of those names. And it's actually one thing I will mention is that this does go by chapter. Sometimes even though I know it's an OGN, I should technically read it all in one sitting. If it's a thicker book like this, I'm more tempted to read it by chapter. Here's one of the new books, actually. So one of the new books, actually two of the new books are OGNs. And I will mention who the author is, because when it's an Image Comics piles writer, or the Image comic writer pile, I do mention who the writer is. If it's the artist, I don't usually do that, because I go by author. I don't go by artist. That's a bit that complicates things. If it's an author-artist, and that just so happens, like Jeff Lemire's Roughneck, I believe he did the artwork for that, or a Sweet Tooth, then yes, I will mention that he's also the artist. But as of this one is written by Jordie Bellaire, and this is Wonder Woman: The Adventures of Young Diana. And this is, I thought at first this was just all the backups, which I think that was also called Young Diana, but from the backups from the Becky Cloonan run, which is written by her too. It was written by Jordie Bellaire. She did the backups and was called Young Diana. But based off the fact that this is a juvenile book, I don't think so, because they marked this as young adult if that were the case, or teen. But this is junior. I'm just gonna flip the artwork real quick here, because sometimes, oh my god, for a kiddie book, that is very small print. Yeah, that kind of artwork. Sometimes I really hate that kind of artwork. I think it really hurts the comic. I'm not usually one to care about artwork in a comic, but when it's super cartoony, yes, even for a kiddie book, it kind of screams, this is a kiddie, to me at least, it screams, this is a kiddie book that only kids will enjoy. It's good for kids, but only kids will enjoy it. And then Scarvy has absolutely astonishing artwork, and it's made for everybody. Yeah, it's targeted towards kids, but anybody can read it and enjoy it. So basically, Illumination versus Pixar. Pixar obviously being the one that kids and adults can enjoy, and Illumination being the movie that you throw on when you want a break from your kids for an hour and a half. 3 hours if you're lucky, because your kid may want to watch Despicable Me 1 and 2. So there you go, got 3 hours without them. There are, several, but specifically I know 2 people who are mothers, and I wonder if they do that. I'm going to ask one of them about that. But it's one of those questions that I can't really text her, and unfortunately I don't see her in person. But anyways, moving on. Lore Olympus, this is back to the miscellaneous pile. But I was dying to read this again after buying Ava's Demon book, or Ava's Book of Demons. What was it called? I think it was actually called Ava's Demon. I'm probably thinking because it was Ava's Demon Book 1. I am merging the two. But anyways, I got that one, and they said it was like targeted towards fans of Lore Olympus. So it did pique my interest, and especially did when I got Sea Serpent's Heir. So rereading Volume 1 of Lore Olympus, also because I've never finished the series. The series is not finished. I mean, I haven't caught up with it. That's what I should have said. I have not caught up with the series. I'm at least 2 volumes behind. And a lot of that was just that I forgot about it. I just assumed my local library would have each volume as it was coming out, which they did for a while there, but then something happens, they didn't. Probably because the only other person I know who was reading Lore Olympus moved from that library to another library, which is a shame because that's how we met. Kind of how we started talking. It was the first time we met. It wasn't because I checked out Lore Olympus. We'll be talking about comics, and that's what it was. Okay, so a little story time here. She saw what I was checking out for books on my account and found that very interesting because it was the same types of comics that she reads. So we got to talk about graphic novels, and it was more than the other library guy I talk about that we exchanged. I was fogging up. I have to close those windows. It's more so than the library guy who we talk about comics. He just is a big too. He's just Marvel and DC, and even then it's somewhat limited. But with the other library gal, she was into like image books, like Wayward, Saga, those types of comics. So that was right up my alley. We got talking about that, and she recommended Lore Olympus, and I just so happened to check it out at that time, and she really was happy that I was checking that book out. So this book will always remind me of her. But anyways, Lore Olympus Book 1. 6 Days, The Incredible Story of D-Day's Lost Chapter. Now, this is a great example of why I like doing another cut of the same exact video that I uploaded, but this time with an added bonus. I don't think I'll ever do that. There was one time. No, actually, there's always an added bonus, I want to say. Sometimes I'll do a re-upload because I don't like how the first upload came out. That's usually because I push these so far into the future sometimes. Like this one will be uploaded this coming Wednesday, but I'm filming it on Friday the 16th. But because of... So, yeah, wait, Wednesday 21st, right? So I know 23rd is Friday. Yeah. But... So because I upload these later on, sometimes I'll be like, I didn't mention that, and I only want to mention that. Or I didn't show this book off for whatever. For whatever reason, I didn't show off a book. Or didn't mention something about a book, whatever. Messed up, so I'll re-upload it. But I think it's been a while since I've done a full-fledged re-upload. When I just upload the video and I keep the old video, like that kind of thing. But anyways, as I was saying, when I do these same video but bonus books video, those types of videos, I'm confusing everybody right now. Basically, my point is, I should not have segued at all. I know I should have done that, but I did anyways. I was trying to explain something that no one cared about. But anyways, what I was trying to get at is I mentioned that Robert Venditti wrote The Last God, and I was saying 6 days would do for fantasy what this did for war comics. I really like war comics, just like how I really like fantasy comics. Not just because of Last God, not really because of Last God, but it was exasperated. Like I feel like I like the fantasy genre even more because of The Last God and how good that comic was. Didn't like the back matter, but everything else was good. Now, 6 days, so the writer of that comic of Last God is Philip Kennedy Johnson. I got that wrong. But Robert Venditti did do a World of Krypton 6-issue miniseries, the most recent one. And that made me actually care about Krypton. So I'm thinking that this might just make me care more about war comics, even more than I do now, the same way it made me care more about Krypton. That's what I was trying to get at. I did not mention that last time because I got the two authors mixed up, confused. This is one I did not show off, but it is a miscellaneous book, and that is Never Again Will I Visit Auschwitz. This one just came in when I was on vacation. So along with Thunderbolts, I had to pick them up after. Oh, I didn't show off Thunderbolts yet. I just realized that. That was a spoiler. Alright, so I do just want to do one more because I just realized I made a big uh-oh. Make sure that I didn't mess up on any of the others. No, 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 Alright. The last OGN is also a reread, and that is Somna. Thoroughly enjoyed this one. Now this is, I'm glad I showed this one off last, because this is technically speaking not an OGN. And what I mean by that is that this is published by Distral Re. And Distral Re, I think with their like individual issues, like issues 1 through 3, you could only get online through their online service. I could be wrong, but I want to say it was never officially released to comic shops until this came out. And this is in comic shops. You can get this hardcover at your local comic shop, if they have it, of course. But it's much easier to find the hardcover at your local comic shop, at the very least, than it is to find the individual issues. That's what I want to say, at least. So that's why I count this as an OGN, because I don't count, crowd-funded comics, individual issues being, and then the trade comes out. I still, technically speaking, call that an OGN, but not really. So that's why I wanted to mention that here. But really enjoyed this one. In fact, I might just be the only one sitting like I did last time. Might not, though. I don't know. Time will tell. Beware the Planet of the Apes. I did show off the Planet of the Apes book. I thought for a second I didn't, because I bought these both. I got this both at the same time. But I think this one you saw before. This is a Mark Guggenheim follow-up to David F. Walker's. It's actually not, though, because this takes place. This is the original 5 movie. Those ones from the ones that were released, the original 5 movies, and then we got the Andy Serkis prequel trilogy, which that is what the David F. Walker 5-issue miniseries is based off of. But this 4-issue miniseries by Mark Guggenheim is based off the original movies. And the first time I read it, I liked it more than I liked the David F. Walker series. Will I feel the same way about that? Well, I think I will. Because the David F. Walker series I kind of, not hated, but I didn't like as much as I did the first time. Will that be the same here? Only time will tell. You'll get that review when I finish enough books. Because time will tell if I finish these all at the same time. Actually, I know I won't. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. Thunderbolts by Jim Zub. This is one of the new ones I got along with... No, I did show this off already. I know I did. Because, I didn't spoil shit. Because I showed this one off along with Butcher's Boy. See, I can't even remember what I did show off and I didn't show off. Because of how many books... Because it's not been the way I have been checking out books. So usually I wait for every last book to come in. ILL and G-Milks. I should have said that. But ILL and the other catalog, I usually wait till every last book comes in, get to whatever books I want by local library, and then I do the video. So that's why it's usually like 400 books rather than 2. But this time around, because I'm checking out so much, I knew I'd actually be over the limit. Like right now, I have to return books, I think on Monday, in order to get everything I want, that kind of thing. That's how far it's gotten. No, by Friday I have to do that. By next Friday I have to do that. But, come on, brain. What's the point? Come on, brain. Kick in. Come on. You can do it. Books. 2 catalogs. But yeah, because I'm doing it this way, I'm not used to doing it this way, so I can't remember what I did show off and I didn't show off. But anyways, Thunderbolts by Jim Zub. This one was what's called a materials request, and that means if the book is either so new that no other library has it yet, just in general, or is in general, you can have your local library get a book. And that's what I did for Thunderbolts. And I'm glad I did, because I've been wanting to read this series for a long time. Because it looked like they had the individual trades, the 2 trades of 12-issue miniseries, or maxi-series. I should call maxi-series because it's more than 10 issues. If it's mini-series is more, there's 10 issues or more, we hit double digits, it's called a maxi-series. But that was released in 2 trades before it was a complete collection. And those, they showed on ILL as, yeah, it's available, you can get it, we have it, and I'm like, actually, we don't. That happens sometimes. I know that makes no sense, and unfortunately, there's no way I can explain it, because even I don't know how that makes sense. Maybe there's a library that had it, and they no longer do interlibrary loans, or the library is no longer around anymore because of the pandemic. I don't know, but it happens, and that's what happened with Thunderbolts. But so I was like, you know what? The new trade's out. It just came out I'll put it in. And I did. I'm glad I did. And it's Jim's Up, so I can't imagine hating this series. Quests aside, this is one that I read the first. So this is a reread. And when I read it the first, I'm not going to do the rereads first and the ones I haven't read before. That's too complicated. And it's a small pile, so I just don't care. It's not complicated, I just don't care. I don't mind doing it this way. But Quest aside is the next book. And this is a reread, and it's a reread because I didn't like it that much the first time. Time will tell if I like it more the second time around. And I didn't mention the author. I actually did. Okay. I've been rushing, and honestly, the way I've been doing this video is different than I normally do it. So Becky Cloonan writes Somna. Okay? Alright. But Brian Schreimer writes Quest Aside. And I didn't know a whole lot about this author, and I saw they had this. I got Fair Lady and Blackjack Ketchum from him, from Image Comics. And I wanted to, the library they had this one. I was like, you know what? I'll check out Quest Aside. It looks like something I will enjoy. And I guess I just had the expectations of it being more than it was, or it could have been. I don't know. But I read the first time, and I only liked the second half. Will I like will I like all 5 issues this time around? Time will tell. But yeah, you guys can tell that I'm not used to doing it this way because I just messed up already. Should I just mention the authors in general? Probably. But until I got into the habit of it. But alright. Gotham Academy, second semester, Becky Cloonan, Carl Keschel, and Brendan Fletcher. Gotham Academy, the final volume of the entire series as a whole. They did a follow-up called Second Semester, so the last volume in second semester, but as a whole, we're done with Gotham Academy. And I'm sad to see the series go, which is crazy to say. And this is not a reread. I think I didn't even read Yearbook. No, it was just volume 2. So why did it give up so easily? Maybe I just thought it was 3 volumes? I don't know. So I was thinking back for Brendan Fletcher, I was merging the two again. Or merging things again. I don't know. Preacher Book 6, Garth Ennis. From now on, I'm just gonna say this. My favorite comic series of all time. I wonder why I'm rereading this entire series. You wonder why. Not gonna say it like that, but... And it's written by Garth Ennis, by the way. Also, Preacher's written by Garth Ennis. Heroes in Crisis, Tom King. Why do I keep reading this? Well, I think it's Clayman's writing. I think because of Clayman's artwork. It makes Tom King's writing not suck as hard. I honestly, I don't think I hate this as much as other people do. Yeah, if you really care about Wally West, they really screw him over. And just in general, you should be angry about that, but... It's been so long, and it doesn't matter to me, and just in general. Like, Wally West, I don't know anything about, really. I keep forgetting he used to be called Kid Flash. Is he still called Kid Flash? That kind of... I know he's not. But, it is not super into Flash comics in general. I've read the Brian Buccellato run. I absolutely love that run. And other Flash books here and there. But I've never been super into Flash. Not for any reason. I just haven't found... another thing to look up my library has for Flash comics, other than the Brian Buccellato run. And then I will check out the Rebirth run. I will check that one out, though. But anyways, yeah, I don't think this as much as everyone else does. It does have, I want to say, the worst of Tom King's writing. But yeah, alright. Moving on from books, and we're gonna ignore all that's going on. I could probably close those windows if anything. Yeah, close those windows. Yeah, okay, lean way over for this one. Nope, we'll leave that one open. I won't. The iPad might fall. It's too humid to have the windows open, anyways. Makes it worse. Alright. So now for the Image books. Before that, really quick, I'm going to show off comics. I'm going to make the last 5 all Image. I like the novelty of doing that. So this next one is written by Chris Robertson, who I have a really, really, really big love-hate relationship with him. I've read some that I really hated and some that I really liked, and all of them have been for Dark Horse, ironically enough, like this one is. And this is Ponyo the Mummy's Curse. This is one that I did not even know the library had. And this is local library too. I was just browsing. I was like, I'm not gonna find anything new, and I did. And I was like, holy shit. And Kanto, and that's what we're beginning next time, by the way. Kanto, that series, they have all 4 volumes, and that was a nice surprise too. But that's continuing a series I already know they had volume 1 of. This straight up did not know they had at all. I never even heard of Ponyo before. That should go to show how much I'm just not collecting anything but Image. But anyways, Ponyo. So no expectations. Don't know what the hell this book is. I just know Chris Roberson is a writer I need to read more of his work from because of how hit or miss I am with him. Better to find something I like by him than not. And it's better to have like more read by him just in general, so I can really say, yeah, he's hit or miss, or no, he's actually really good. But sometimes he misses. Anyways, but like really hit or miss. I mean, his misses, ouch, like boring shit. But then his good stuff is really good. Because I think he did do one of the books in the Hellboy universe omnibus. Actually, I know he did. And that one I really liked. I really, really liked it. I think it was co-authored by John Arcudi. I think it was John Arcudi and Chris Roberson. Both of which, ironically, have done work for Image. I like kind of funny. Anyways, speaking of Image, now on to the Image books. 5 of which are in my PC. First up, we have technically 5. You'll see what I mean by that in a second year. But first up, we have Black Science Volume 1. Decided at the last minute, you know what, to hell with it. I'm going to check this one out. Again, because I really enjoyed it. And Volume 1 I wasn't so crazy about. So maybe on a reread, I will enjoy it more. So why do I do rereads? First one up is I really enjoyed it, so I want to read it again. That's what this is. Second is I didn't like it as much as I did the first time, so a reread may improve that. Technically, that's the case with Black Science, but definitely more Quest aside. Or your third, in Lore Olympus's case, is I want to catch up on the series or finally finish it, so that's why I'm rereading what I have read before, so it's like catch up. So, speedrun it. First one up is enjoy it so much I want to read it again, reread to redeem, and reread to catch up. That's the 3 criteria for why I reread books. And it has proven in the past to be the best thing ever for me. Many, many times. There are series that, like Preacher, I reread the first issue and liked it like literally a billion times more than I did the first time around. So much so that it has become my favorite comic of all time. That is the best advertisement. And even then, like, that's just the first issue. Maybe if I had kept reading it at that time when I first read it, I would have liked it more. But yeah, I read the first time, I was like, yeah, that was good. And I read it the second time, I was like, okay, you're insane. This is awesome. I cannot wait to read more. And I was absolutely hooked. That was the ultimate binge read for me. Anyways, Black Science, Rick Remender. Volume 1. So, I did show off, the only one I didn't show off before was Black Science. They added in Black Science last minute. But I have shown off the rest of these. So this is Middle West Book 2 of 3 by Scotty Young. This is a series that the library had only volumes 1 and 2. So this is still a reread, but volume 3, when I get to that, it will be when I'm reading all the way through for the first time ever. Even though reading volume 2 so far, I'm kind of like, I don't know about that. And where volume 1 left off of, I was like, I don't know about that. Did I actually read all 2 volumes? Because the cliffhanger I thought happened at the end of volume 2 actually happens at the end of volume 1. And maybe there's an even bigger cliffhanger for volume 2. So I have read a little bit of volume 2 thus far. Super stutter, I know. I have read a little bit of volume 2. And the way that where we're at this point, I'm kind of like, well, maybe volume 2 ends on a bigger cliffhanger. But there are characters that are introduced that I'm like, I don't remember that at all. So, and it's been a long time, also. But you think I remember that. No matter how long it's been since I've read this book before, you would think I would remember that. It's a pretty important story moment. But anyways, if I remember where the cliffhanger happened, you think I remember this. But anyways, Middle West Volume 2, Scotty Young. Sleepless Volume 2, Sarah Vaughn. Not a lot to say about this one. And it's another one the library had, and I'm rereading. But this one is a full reread, like a full-fledged reread. I read both volumes at least twice. Really enjoyed the series. And so far, that's the same case. I didn't want to say too much. I don't want to be technically reviewing these books. Nomen Omen Volume 3 of 3. This is Marco Bibucci. This is what I'm reading all the way through for the first time ever. Like, Volume 1, starting off with Volume 1. I had not read a page of that before this time around. So, brand new. And then as the rest of these are going to be, except for attacking the last one, and I'll, again, getting ahead of myself. But anyways, so here is a technically for my PC. Because I'm reading the library's copy of Creature from the Black Lagoon Lives by Dan Waters and Ram V, but I own my own copy. Now, when I do that, it's just a novelty. It's gonna be someone that knows that they live near me, and they're gonna be pissed. Logan, if you're watching this, can you pretend to be pissed? Thank you. In the comments, thank you. And then finally, last but not least, is Invincible Ultimate Collection. Now, this, unlike Creature from the Black Lagoon, I am reading my library's copy because it's oversized. I have the compendiums, I will read them for the compendiums, but I wanted to read what they had with the thick-ass hardcovers, the tall-ass hardcovers, omnibus editions. I wanted to read that this way for now. And then, of course, when it comes to volumes, whether they hell afterwards, I'll read the compendium. But, nice little novelty here. But that, as I say, is that. Oh, and Robert Kirkman. Robert Kirkman writes Invincible. I shouldn't have to mention that, but I do want to mention it just in case you didn't know. But yeah, Creature from the Black Lagoon Lives. I'll do that every now and then. Like I did it with Everyday Hero Machine Boy and Scurry. Sorry, not in Scurry. And Flawed. But this one's actually an intro loan, so that's very different, but not too much different. But cannot wait to get into these. I want to get right into these. So I'm going to end the video now. I'm going to order these if I want to order them. I already read one issue of this today. And then gotta do this, OGNs, at the side here, and this, and that, I will put away. Alright, that's it. 26 minutes.